Hi everyone. Today for math, we are going to start a new unit, and that unit is geometry. So today our first lesson is all about points, lines, and angles. All right, so today up here is telling you exactly what I want you to be able to do when the lesson is done. I want you to be able to label, draw, and describe a line, a ray, and an angle. And then specifically, when you're given an angle, I need you to be able to label it acute, right, or obtuse. The first vocabulary word is point, and here's a picture of a very large point, a dot that is showing an exact location in space. The second is a drawing of a line, and a line has an infinite number of points on the line, and a line continues going in both directions indefinitely, just goes on and on. Now, a ray looks a lot like a line, but the difference is that on one end, you have a point where the line stops. So it stops here, it's not going to continue going, but it is going to continue going in one direction. So far you've seen a point, a line, and a ray. Okay, so before you go on, what I need you to do is go find two pencils, two straws, two sticks, something that resembles those items, and a piece of paper and a pencil, and then come back and continue. Okay, now that you have those items on a piece of paper, or maybe even if you had a whiteboard nearby, draw a point. Then, what I want you to do is to lay the end of a stick or a pencil or even a straw at the point to make a ray. Looking down here, here's my point, here's my straight item. I have a straw, and then I drew an arrow at one end. What you're doing is you're showing that this is a ray and that the ray will continue forever in only one direction. Now, using your second item, a pencil or a straw or a stick, put the end of that at the point that you already had started with, and then you're going to draw an arrow at the end. And what you have just created now is an angle. So you have one ray here and one ray here, and you have just made an angle. And I accidentally moved the screen. All right, so these two rays share the same beginning point. This point is called a vertex. So right here, this is the vertex, and here's my ray. And you notice one of my rays is a little shorter than the other, and that's okay. All right, so now what we're going to do is look at some different types of angles and how they get their name or label. So this is showing you a full circle. And if we put those two rays on top of each other and we moved one of them all the way around, then that would be 360 degrees. So a full circle is 360 degrees. Now, if I take one of the rays that like you had made with your two sticks, and I took one of them and moved it halfway around the circle, this line, this straight angle measures 180 degrees. And then finally, if I put my two rays just like this to make an L, that measurement is exactly 90 degrees. So when we're measuring angles, we're actually taking a measurement inside this angle right here. Each of these pictures here is showing you different angles and their measurements. So if you started with these angles on top of each other and then you opened it just that much, that measures 30 degrees. The second one is opened a little wider, so that's 60. And then this next one is 80. It hasn't quite reached 90 degrees. It's just a little short. All three of these, since they're less than 90 degrees, we have a special name for them, and that is called acute. On the other hand, if your angle is larger than 90 degrees, then that angle is called obtuse. So we have acute, less than 90, obtuse, greater than 90. So now you can visit this website right here. I'm going to have it posted as part of your assignment, and you can play a game called Alien Angles and then come back and finish watching the video. Here I wanted to show you how in geometry you can measure, I'm sorry, not measure, but label the angles. So here's my completed angle, and I put a point A here. We have my vertex is point B, and this point is point C. And if we want to name this angle to describe it or identify it, this would be considered angle ABC. You can also start over here with the letter C and name this angle CBA. So hopefully you notice in both of these examples, the letter B is in this middle. So the vertex is going to come in between the other 2 points when you list the angle's name. All right, and over here, I just want you to take a minute using your rays, your 2 rays that you used to make your first angle, and practice showing these 5 different kinds. Okay, and finally, using what you just learned, here's a diagram of several lines and rays and points, and we want you to be able to name the angles that are formed by some different rays. So in question A says, find the angle that was formed by the rays DE and DF. So here's DE, that's a ray, and here's DF, another ray. And together they make an angle that we could name by saying angle EDF or angle FDE. Go ahead and answer the last 2 questions before you move on and see the answers. Okay, everyone, that's it. So today you learned about points, lines, rays, and angles. Have a good day.